Welcome back, ladies and gents. I'm your host, Sinistrino1, and we're going to continue our Village of Shadows walkthrough for Resident Evil Village. So next up is, I would consider, even with the Dragoon assault rifle and infinite ammo, still one of the toughest section, I think, in this game. Because they throw so enemies at you that if you... Listen, if you want to try to complete this on Village of Shadows with normal weapons, you cannot... you have to rush through it. That's the only way you're going to do it. There's so many enemies that this section throws at you that it becomes nigh impossible to do unless you just bypass the enemies. There is a route to bypass the enemies. However, we're still trying to gain as much coin as we can because we want to upgrade to the infinite ammo with the Magnum. So that is why we're going to pretty much try to take out almost every single enemy. There's just going to be a few that we're not going to touch, and I can't tell you how difficult it is to do, especially because we have not used a single health item. I have not ever, not once yet, and hopefully I think there's a stat that shows that. We should be able to get a challenge at the end of this that says that you haven't used, I think it's, you can only use 4 health things, but so far we haven't used any. And that's what makes this the most challenging right here, is even with infinite ammo, it's very difficult not to get hit, at least once. But you can see that we're already in the red, because we've been in the red because we got hit by the wolf in the previous episode towards the end. So you can see that it's going to be even more challenging. Every single time that we get hit, we're going to go immediately into the red. Even if we block and parry an incoming attack, we are still going to go immediately to the red. So let that be known, because when you get up to the boss fight up ahead, when you go into the red, you have a very tiny little area that this boss fight occurs in, and anyone that's played Village of Shadows knows that you move super slow when you get in the red, and it becomes almost... Look, that guy just rushed us on us so quick. It was so tough right there. I was like, wow, this is starting out good. But we're going to manage. That's what we do. Even though, again, I'm doing this with infinite ammo, I'm still making the infinite ammo challenge as hard as possible by not taking any health items. Otherwise, you could breeze through this section, and I'll be honest. You can get through these sections super quick if you don't mind using your health items, because you'll automatically heal up, you'll get right back to running, and then you can just bypass all of these areas and just keep going without taking the enemies out if you don't care too much about getting coin. But you get the most amount of money on Village of Shadows, so I feel like this is the one walkthrough where I want to take my time and slow down and try to take out as many enemies as possible, just because of the fact of how much money we're getting. But this is going to take quite a bit of time, because all I technically have to do is go up here, then there's going to be 2 levers, one on the right and one on the left you need to pull. The enemies, they give you enough time, honestly, to be able to pull the switches and levers quick enough. The only thing that takes a little bit of time is the fact that the door takes some time to open, because it's like one of those things that has to go back into the ground, like all of the spikes that are covering up the door. So that takes about a good 20 seconds. So you just have to survive long enough for 20 seconds if you want to rush through once you've done the doors. But again, we're going to take out every single enemy in this section. So the next section that you're going to come across is the den area. You can get by the den area like super quick. There's nothing that's going to keep you from being able to move forward. There is, however, one big giant enemy that's going to stand in your way, and sometimes he can knock you off. But if he doesn't knock you off and you don't mind taking at least 1 hit and then immediately healing up so you can continue to go, you can get through that in probably about 20 seconds and go right to the next section. But that's not what we're doing. We're going to be taking out every single one of them as well. There's just, I think, maybe like 3 of them that we're going to leave behind, because after a point, you just get so nervous. Again, it's so easy to get hit on Village of Shadows, and because we've never taken a single health item yet, our health is already down at the lowest possible. The only thing that saves us is the fact that as long as you're not in a red state, there is no such thing as a one-hit kill. So what I mean by that is, as long as you don't have the whole screen is red, you will be able to get hit 1 time. So essentially, as long as you're not in the red, you can get hit twice before you're completely dead. So use that as the strategy that you need, which is why we've been able to stay alive for as long as we have, because specifically once we do get in the red, we just can't get hit at that point for at least 20 seconds, and then then we are back to actually being able to get hit twice again. So that's how I've been trying to do the walkthrough, is trying to make it to where if I am going to get in the red at any portion, to make sure I don't get hit for at least 20 seconds from that point on. But because we're not doing a speed run, we've been able to get through it rather not too difficult. I think this was the most difficult section that I've had so far in Village of Shadows, just mainly because of the fact we're taking everyone out. Again, if you just bypass all of this, it's really not that difficult. But the game just kind of constantly throws enemies at you, and that's what makes it super, super tough. So I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of this until we get into the next room, and then I'll kind of explain what my strategy for that room is. All right, so this is the den.
This must be their den.
Immediately go up. As soon as you hear the noise, a big guy's going to drop down. Immediately turn around and go back to where you came from. This is going to be the strategy for taking out all of the enemies. If you do not have infinite ammo on whatever weapon you're using, you will not be able to do this. It's impossible. I guarantee you, no one that is playing Village of Shadows will be taking out every single enemy in this section with the normal weapons, unless they've got about 1,000 ammunition, because you can even see how tough it is with infinite. Once you get past a certain point, you see they back away. but then you have to move up, otherwise they'll just disappear. So it's a constant like bait and switch. Go forward, and then immediately go back, and then you should have enough room to make sure you don't get hit, as well as taking all these guys out. For being a great weapon that this assault rifle is, it takes a long time to reload, and there's no upgrades on it. Now, this is going to happen 3 times. When you move forward a little bit more, then another group of enemies are going to come out. As of right now, they're still coming out in front of us. And then once they're done, then the third group is going to come out again. And now this group actually is going to be able to come through where you previously were. So you have to take those enemies out first. As you can see, they're coming from exactly where I was. So once you take them out, then make sure you can actually get back up there. No more enemies will come from behind you there. And then you can repeat the same process again. This is the best way that I found to take out these enemies on Village of Shadows, when you're actually taking them all out. Now, you need essentially to get over to the left. It's pretty much an endless amount of enemies. They're always going to keep coming. So you have to move up eventually. But you can get and farm a lot of money by doing this method here. What you want to do is you don't want to jump across until everyone has, or not everyone, but most of them have come back over in this direction. Because if you jump over there, you're immediately going to get hit and you're dead. You will not make it. So the only way you can come over to this right here is when there's nobody there. Even there's a guy right there as soon as I landed. You see what I mean? But luckily there was only one, so I can get hit once, and then the next hit will die until I turn normal again, which is still in caution, or should I say still in danger. But it's like a 2-hit system once you're out of the red. If, again, all of this matters is, my whole point across this is our health is always down. If you're in the green, you can get hit probably a few times, especially if you're blocking, but when you're as low as health as I am, it doesn't matter even if you're able to move normal. It's 2 hits and that's it. As you can see, it's still in the red even though we're able to move. So take out this guy, and there's another guy up there as well. They're going to start kind of coming for you. This is not the next wave of enemies yet. This is still that first initial wave. And there is going to be some coming from behind you, as you can see. We barely made that one. And now, once we move up, there's going to be a whole new set that you need to take out. Now, you can rush by them, but let me tell you, with how we're playing it with no heals, you don't want to do it. If you're trying the challenge that I am without healing, you need to take as many of them out as possible, because you just won't be able to make it. As you can see, they all drop right there. So you have to. I mean, there's just no way you can make it through there without... and there's about 6 of them coming right at you. So this would be a good opportunity to use your mines. Or, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Or, you know, whatever. We've hoarded a lot of stuff because we've really only used our infinite weapons. So using the mines here is a good option. And we're going to be using the mines as well in the next section. We were able to not get hit there because we crouched as soon as he was actually aiming to hit us. So that was a very, very lucky thing that could have gone sour easily. And of course we jump back down here. I know there's a lot of things you can pick up down here, but really we just wanted to jump down so we can get all of them down there, which should hopefully give us enough time to either take them out or allow us to scoot on by. And we need to do the same method where we zip line across. Make sure the coast is clear. They can still hit you while you're on the zip line, so you have to be careful. And then go ahead and make your way. At this point, these enemies, we're just going to go ahead and leave. I think we've got enough. And I wanted to get out of this section at this point because I had played it a few times, and it's just super tough when you're taking enemies out. But once you're past this door, you're pretty much okay, except one of them can straggle their way in here. And then we can move on to the Uris boss battle, which I can just... Oh my gosh. This one took me about, I don't know, 15 times to complete, even with infinite ammo. But you got to remember, guys, most people that are doing these Village of Shadows runs with infinite ammo, they're probably using a Magnum, which will take them out, you know, obviously not too bad. But when you're using this weapon here, it becomes significantly more difficult. I pump so many rounds into him, and I can't even imagine doing it without infinite ammo, because you really have to hoard every single piece of ammo that you would have gotten up to this point in order to take this next guy out. So all I can say is we're going to be using the infinite ammo, we're going to be using the mines, we're going to be using the pipe bombs, and we're also going to be using a few of our Magnum rounds. And I definitely recommend to save if you want to save some time, because it does have an auto checkpoint right here, but if you save, I think you go back to your original time as opposed to it just keeps adding. I'm sure that my walkthrough is going to show I completed it probably in 5 or 6 hours, maybe even more. But here we go. I mean, we're just going to start aiming at him pretty much as soon as you can, and then watch the magic. You just need to try not to get hit, because we can't get hit once. We get hit once, we're so slow and we're dead. I mean, it's you literally just one time will slow us down enough to where he'll kill us every time. It's so tough to do. Once he drops down, I'm going to plant a few mines. These are for the enemies that are actually with him as well, because we don't have enough ammunition for him and for them, because the how long it takes to reload will take us down way too quick. He comes really fast, so that's why we have the mines placed there. We're going to go ahead and craft a few more. Crafting is something I really haven't done yet, which is why we have so many crafting options to do. We're going to craft, I think, a total of about 5 or 6 in the end. And we're going to use the same method here. Place them in strategic points of where you want him to go, as well as the enemies, because they will come right at you. And we're going to use the pipe bombs. Pay attention to where he is so you know which side to go on. Now we're going to switch to our Magnum, and we're going to get a few shots in there. I don't want to use all my Magnum rounds, but we're going to use just a few, just down to where we get to 3. And there you go. So we still got 3 Magnum rounds. Definitely one of the hardest bosses that I've fought. Even with infinite ammo, it's no joke. But you saw that entire time I didn't get hit. All I can say is if you get hit once and you're in the red and you're not using any health items whatsoever, you're done. Just restart. There's no way to do it. There's too many enemies that come at you and you're too slow. So all of that really depends on you not getting hit a single time. Once you get hit, it's over. If you're not using any health items. I feel like I have to keep saying that because I know some people will say, well, I've been hit and beat him before. You know, well, of course. But challenge yourself not to use any health items during that entire fight. These are pretty much little free awards you can pick up that'll get you some good money. Although, technically, they get you about just as much as killing an enemy does. Some enemies drop 4,200 lei and others drop around 3,000 something. So... But other than that, there's a section up ahead when you cross the boat that you can go into. We're not going to. There's really no need. We have enough stuff right now that we don't need to go into that room because more enemies spawn and I just didn't want to have to deal with them. And then I will pick back up with the commentary once we head to that next section up ahead.
What?
You're the real deal, Ethan. Well done.
Quit hiding, asshole. I'm not letting you get out of this.
Cool your jets. Just a little bit more, and you're all wrapped up. I'll lend you a hand. So in exchange...
In exchange, what?
First of all, come to me. Put all the flasks in the altar, and I'm sure you'll figure the rest out. See you, Ethan.
God damn it.
All right, so now that we're outside of the other main area, now I recommend you probably come to this place first. That way you don't have to go back the way that I did. Because remember that other section takes you out a different route, so you have to go all the way back around. But here's another big boss fight. This one is the cheesiest boss fights of them all. All you have to do is unlock the door on the other side, and then you can use the door to your advantage because he will just keep going back to where he started every single time you go back into the door. I know it's a very, very cheesy way to beat the boss, but again, I don't understand why they... I mean, I understand they wanted to give the player a challenge when completing this, but literally, if you try to face off in any of these battles, you're going to have zero ammunition for any encounter later. It's almost... I don't understand it. That's why I think the only people that should play Village of Shadows are ones with infinite ammo, because I feel like you're missing out a lot on the game if you play Village of Shadows and try to do it with normal weapons, because you only have enough weapons for the main bosses, and that's it. It's just crazy. But it still is fun. So again, back and forth. We'll take him out. Pretty simple. It will take a while. But other than that, that's going to be it for my commentary. There's still a lot more of the video, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I will have another one for you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Love you all. And, of course, we'll keep it going.
It's my greatest pleasure to see you return alive. As you wish. Now this is something. Don't let up yet. I can hardly wait. Just excuse me a moment. Apologies for the wait. Here's your share. Not a bad dish. Please do take a look at my new stock. Aha! Uh-huh. Thank you for your patronage.